Let's get nuts.
Great call, Keaton. Well, my friends, here we are once again to discuss Star Trek and specifically the stupidity and idiocy of Paramount Plus, at least in my opinion. Two things to address before I get into this news. First, I want to thank Positronic Hypersonic for putting up a short alerting me to this. And second, I'm a little upset at Paramount, so I don't feel they deserve the loveliness of my non-squeaky chair, so I'm going to go ahead and record this in my squeaky chair. Sorry about that, but that's basically all they deserve from me right now. Okay, so Variety is reporting, according to some other sources as well, that Star Trek Prodigy has been effectively canceled at Paramount Plus, along with some other things, the game Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, Queen of the Universe. Don't even know what those are. Well, I do know the Grease one. I haven't watched it. So, in my opinion, the only one I really care about is Star Trek Prodigy. Going through a little bit this here. Basically, according to people with knowledge of the removals, it is a data-driven reason, and it comes ahead of a merger of some sort with Showtime or whatever you want to call it. So anyways, it was, in my opinion, the best of the new batch of Star Trek offerings. It wasn't the best as far as live action. It wasn't the best as adult themes because it was presented for children. However, in my humble opinion, it was the best at capturing the heart of true Star Trek. It had the soul of Star Trek, and even though it was generated to feel a little bit more child-friendly, it had all of the trappings that make a legitimate Berman-era Star Trek show. It even continued the storylines from Voyager. It set up a couple of returning characters. Possibly, I do know that they're speaking about having these people return in live action down the road, but that doesn't address the fact that, and the thing that really kind of appalls me here, the second season is pretty much done. It's in post-production. There's a little work still to go, but this once again becomes a case of a studio getting rid of something that's, in essence, pretty much ready to go. And I don't think that's personally the best thing to do when you're trying to keep an audience on board, specifically the Star Trek brand right now. They're trying to inundate us with as much Star Trek as possible. Discovery's going off the air. Picard ended. They're turning the Section 31 thing into a movie instead of an ongoing show. Strange New Worlds just premiered. We're 2 episodes in, and even though I really like the second episode, I am seeing a lot of divisive confrontation about how that show's going so far. A lot of people are liking it. However, a lot of other people aren't. And we're also in the midst of a writer's strike right now, which, if it doesn't resolve fairly quickly, means we're going to inevitably run into a point of time where there isn't much new content to be had. So why they're making this announcement now that they're, in essence, getting rid of something that's effectively almost ready to go seems a little stupid, in my opinion. First of all, why announce this right now? Obviously, there's probably some financial reasons behind it. But in 2 months down the line, if they're completely out of new content and they have this thing ready to go, they've already announced they're shopping it around to other places. So if somebody does effectively pick it up, they're going to be in a position of A, not having that new material to put on their service, and B, now having another service playing piggyback off the Star Trek franchise, which is now fracturing the franchise overall. There's actually not much written here. I thought there was going to be a lot more. This is kind of a dumb decision, in my opinion. I really like Prodigy. It's not for everyone, but it does carry that soul of Star Trek. So it kind of feels like they are killing off the last vestiges of legacy Star Trek. Whether or not they're going to go forward with anything new, I don't know. But Strange New Worlds, Discovery, and the Section 31 movie, and potentially Academy if it's truly set in the new future that Discovery has gone into, they're all kind of leaving behind that era of Star Trek, and they're all feeling like a new, updated, alternate universe, and it just feels like this might be the death of that legacy Star Trek universe. I'm not going to write off all of these shows. Like I said, I personally am enjoying Strange New Worlds for what it is. Didn't necessarily think the first episode of this season was great, but the second episode really did it for me. And I think that personally, Star Trek Prodigy is a show that everyone who likes Star Trek should go out and track down. If you haven't watched it yet, it's definitely worthwhile, at least in my opinion. It takes a couple of episodes to get over the gratingness of some of the younger characters, but it truly becomes something special as it evolves and moves forward. And I think personally, if you view it in a sort of a binge model type situation, it comes across much better than the weekly format that we were kind of forced to watch it when it first came out, and then it broke things into various segments as well. I don't have a lot more to say on this because it's just recently breaking news and I haven't had much time to process it. It is inevitably going to come back to bite them in the butt. It's going to be a mistake. Whether or not somebody picks up the show and goes forward with it, I have to imagine somebody will, since it's almost finished and it is involving these legacy characters, Janeway specifically, who is kind of a big deal in the community right now. So I have to imagine someone will pick it up, which will then lead to Star Trek becoming once again fractured across various services. And I think as a business move, maybe it's not generating the data or the numbers, not getting the subscribers they hoped, but I think that by getting rid of it or moving it somewhere else, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, and in a couple years' time, they're going to come to regret this move. That's never stopped them before. Obviously, hindsight is never anything that's looked at when they're making a decision. Perhaps they know something more than me. Obviously, they know something more than me. But in my humble opinion, dumb move, Paramount. Dumb move. And wherever it goes, wherever Prodigy ends up, if it does go somewhere else, they're going to get my money, because I want to see season 2, and personally, if it's anything like season 1, even halfway decent, it's going to be some of the best Star Trek I've seen in years. Those are my thoughts on it. What do you guys think about it? Are you happy? Did you not watch it? Is this just something that you expected to happen? Leave all your thoughts below. Like, share, subscribe. If you want to throw me some money, that would be helpful too, because my computer crashed while I was trying to record this video 30 minutes ago, and that's why it's a little later than I intended. But I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, computer and program.